forgotten truth about sexual energy. In the modern age, where sexuality is commercialized and trivialized, people have forgotten that sexual energy is not a pastime, but a gateway to God. Today's society teaches us to liberate as much as possible, to live free from desire, and to see ejaculation as natural, healthy, and necessary. But in the ancient yogic traditions, especially in the Himalayas, semen is not just a part of physiology, it is the last remaining sacred part of the universe in the human body. Mahavatar Babaji, the great immortal master, emphasized that people have searched for God through thousands of paths, but have unwittingly thrown away the key that lies within their own bodies. Semen, what we think is physical, carnal, sexual, is actually a form of condensed intelligence. It is the last material flow that God has given to man to choose between regenerating the body or regenerating the soul. And the sad thing is, we are losing this treasure every day without even knowing it. Every ejaculation for temporary pleasure, every unconscious consumption, is each delay in the path to enlightenment. Retaining semen, according to the ancient hermit masters, is not about suppressing the instincts, but raising the frequency of the being to a level where desire no longer controls us. He who gives up desire is asleep. He who holds it like a sword is awake. Babaji. Spermatozoa, the source of the spirit. According to ancient yoga philosophy, especially in systems such as Tantra, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and Siddha Yoga lines, semen, called Bindu, is the primordial seed of life. But what is more miraculous is, Bindu contains the materialized divine intelligence, the sacred structure of semen. Semen is the final product after a process of purification from blood. Blood is where prana, the life energy that moves throughout the body through the subtle channels, nadis, is concentrated. Prana is the bridge between consciousness, Atman, and the body, Sharira. Therefore, each drop of semen is a drop of divine power. Unconscious ejaculation equals loss of core life energy. You not only lose physical strength, you lose divine creativity. You weaken the Kundalini fire that is waiting to awaken. Babaji taught, he who does not control his sexual energy will never control his mind. And if he does not control his mind, he is a slave even on a throne. When you keep your sexual energy, you store up Ojas, the subtle spiritual energy formed from unreleased prana. You increase the brightness of your forehead, Ajna chakra, your intuition becomes sharper. Breathing becomes deeper, your voice becomes stronger, your eyes become bright and deep like still water. It is no coincidence that masters like Babaji, Yogananda, Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, Trailinga Swami all lived in the state of Brahmacharya, not allowing sexual energy to be dissipated unconsciously. They did not repress sex. They transform it into light. Why does frequent ejaculation make you degraded quickly? Every time you ejaculate unconsciously, your inner light is blown out. And if you do not keep the fire within, the darkness outside will devour you little by little. Babaji. Semen is not just a body fluid, it is condensate life. According to ancient yoga, semen, Bindu, is the final purified form of blood, the place where prana, life energy, is concentrated at its highest density. Producing a drop of semen requires 40 to 70 blood circulations, a large amount of minerals, zinc, magnesium, selenium, and especially the coordination of digestive fire, Agni, breathing, and a calm mind. Therefore, every time you ejaculate uncontrollably, you are losing physical strength, leaking spiritual energy, and weakening the neuroenergy well axis. Negative effects of too much ejaculation. 1. Loss of mental clarity. People who lose semen frequently often experience cloudy eyes, slow reflexes, blurred mind, forgetfulness, poor concentration, emotional arousal, lack of inner stability. This is a clear sign that the prana in the brain is weak, and Ojas is not enough to keep the mind steady. 2. Decreased vitality and natural attractiveness. People with strong semen do not need to try to be attractive. They have an inner biological force that makes others respect and gravitate towards them. On the contrary, when semen is withdrawn, you look pale even if you work out. Your voice lacks depth. Eyes are lost or flicker unsteadily. Weak presence, easily overwhelmed by other people's energy. 3. Weak spine, root chakra is out of balance. Mahavatar chakra, the root of Kundalini, is closely associated with sexual energy. Recurrent ejaculation causes lack of strength in the pelvic area. Sensitive nervous system is tense. Difficulty meditating for long. The root chakra is closed, the entire spine loses the power source to bring energy up. Meditation becomes heavy, easy to fall asleep, or sitting but not going deep. 4. Increased desire, but weak will. The irony is, the more you ejaculate, you are not more satisfied, but more hungry for sex. Because prana is withdrawn from the brain, the limbic brain becomes hungry for energy and requires more stimulation to compensate. The result is desire increases continuously. Willpower to control decreases. The mind is led like a horse without a rein. Lust is never satisfied when fed by action. It is only transformed when you lead it into the light. Babaji. Summary: every time you ejaculate unconsciously, you lose precious ojas. Slows the opening of Ajna and Sahasrara, higher consciousness center. Destabilizes the root chakra. Displaces the prana axis. The body is prone to illness, the mind is prone to disorder. And especially, if sexual desire is satisfied too often, Kundalini will never awaken. You do not need to kill desire. You need to transform desire. He who knows how to retain semen as a sacred object will become a dwelling place for the light from the heavens. Babaji. Keeping the energy, upgrading yourself 1,000 times more. To keep the energy is to keep the creative fire of the universe. Whoever lights it in his heart will burn away all the darkness of ignorance. Mahavatar Babaji. Keeping the energy is to keep the incredible source of mental evolution. Energy is not only related to physical health. It is the primordial foundation for all levels of human improvement. Physical body, clear mind, strong will, transcendental intuition, and the ability to contact higher spiritual dimensions. In ancient yoga, semen was likened to the oil of the lamp of wisdom. When you keep it from leaking, the fire in the lamp will burn continuously. The wind of emotions and desires cannot extinguish that flame. And in that light, your soul begins to remember itself. Specific effects of continuous semen control. 1. Unusually sharp memory and thinking. When semen is not consumed, prana is not depleted, the brain functions with more powerful electricity. Clearness, analytical sensitivity, and learning ability increase dramatically. Many yogis can read and memorize entire scriptures after a few glances. Semen is a high-voltage electric current. Whoever channels it correctly opens the treasury of the universe. Babaji. 2. Expanded intuition. The sixth sense gradually awakens. Prana moves not only in the muscles, but also in the energy chakras and spiritual endocrine glands such as pineal gland, pituitary gland, thymus. As the vital energy is refined, intuition develops. You begin to feel the energy of others. Know who is lying without reason. Know what is coming without planning. Receive signals from the silent depths. 3. Increase your natural power and temperament. No need for muscles. No need for a loud voice. A person who maintains vital energy for a long time has a calm, steady temperament, attracting like a magnet. Others see you and become silent. When you enter a room, all eyes turn to you. You no longer need to try to impress, because your inner energy speaks for itself. This is the phenomenon of Ojas, pure bioenergy created from the process of holding the vital energy and transforming sexual energy. 4. Deeper meditation, easier to enter samadhi and less delusion. Most beginners have difficulty because prana is scattered mind as chaotic thoughts do not stop. But when you hold the vital energy, prana gathers in the spine and brain. The mind is naturally calm like a windless lake. Breathing slows down and you fall into samadhi, unity, more easily. Meditation is not difficult. It is difficult because you are down the bridge between body and mind every day, and then blame yourself for not being able to be awake. Babaji. 5. Sexual attraction and radiant vibration. Ironically, when you stop chasing desire, you become infinitely more attractive, because your energy does not go out to seek validation, but goes back in to illuminate every cell. Others are not sure why they are attracted to you. It's not the look, it's not the words, it's the frequency. Transformation equals power. The important thing is not to suppress. It's to transform the energy into light, will, and presence. Every time desire arises, you breathe slowly, guide the energy up the spine, offer it to the pineal gland, focus on the light. And you will see. Semen becomes divine power. Desire becomes creative will. The mortal becomes a yogi. Daily practice of refining sexual energy, the secret of yogis. You do not need to destroy sex. You need to lead it to where it belongs, the light. Mahavatar Babaji. Goal of this practice: not just abstinence, but to transform sexual energy into pure prana. Strengthen the spine, raise the Kundalini. Cleanse the root chakra, sublimate the mind. Establish a state of peace, creativity, concentration. Step 1. Transformational breath, Kriya breath. When the feeling of sexual desire arises, or every morning when waking up, when the energy naturally rises, sit straight, hands on the pillow, eyes half closed. Breathe in deeply through the nose. Imagine the sexual energy rising from the genital area along the spine. Bring it up between the eyebrows, Ajna chakra. Hold the breath for 2 to 4 seconds. Feel the light gather at the forehead. Exhale slowly through the mouth or nose. Imagine that light spreading throughout the brain and body. Repeat 12 rounds. Affect. Dissolve unacted desire. Transform desire into a state of concentration, creativity, inspiration. Bring prana to the brain, strengthen intuition. Step 2. Light meditation in the spine, Sushumna Prakash. Every night before going to bed, or any time you feel the sexual energy rising, lie still or sit cross-legged by Breathe deeply. Imagine a silvery white light rising up the spine. Keep your awareness in the ajna, middle of the forehead, or sahasrara, top of the head. Repeat 21 times. End with 3 minutes of sitting still, presence. Effects. Opens the central energy axis, Sushumna Nadi. Calms sexual energy without suppressing it. Directs sexual energy into compassion, light, intuition. Step 3. Spiritual affirmation of sexual energy. Repeat every day, upon waking, or whenever you feel weak-willed. I do not need to dissipate sexual desire. I use it as fuel for awareness. Sexual energy is a divine force waiting to be transformed. I hold this fire, not to burn, but to illuminate from within. I am the keeper of the lamp. And that lamp is me. Step 4. Live lightly, keep your mind clean. True practitioners do not need to try to resist desire. They just need to keep a clean body, eat lightly, eat less spicy food, get enough sleep, do not indulge in artificial stimulation. A bright mind, watch less sexual content, avoid talking about the flesh. Focus on living with purpose, creativity, service. When energy has a place to flow, it does not need to find a way out through desire. Conclusion on practice. You do not need to attain enlightenment immediately. You just need to start keeping the fire burning, day by day, breath by breath, awareness that you are not this body, but the one who controls it. When lust is king, the soul is the prisoner. When light is king, lust is the faithful servant. Babaji. Brahmacharya, not abortion, but the art of regeneration of energy. Brahmacharya is not renunciation, but the path of returning desire to its original divine light. Babaji. Brahmacharya means living in harmony with God, or more deeply, walking in the path of God. It does not mean celibacy, nor does it oblige you to remain celibate for life, but rather the transformation of sexual energy into spiritual light. What is Brahmacharya? 1. Realizing the sacredness of sexual energy. When you see desire not as an enemy, but as a high-voltage current that has not been properly directed, you will stop resisting it. Stop chasing it. But learn to guide it into the center of the spine, where it transforms into prana, then ojas, then spiritual light. Desire is fire. Burning matter, it destroys. Burn the ego, it enlightens. Babaji. 2. Learn to raise energy instead of release it. Sexual energy can go down through sexual activity satisfaction and then fatigue, or go up through breathing, meditation, consciousness become a state of lasting radiance. A person who lives in accordance with Brahmacharya can feel the exciting vibration in the body, but without releasing they direct it to the heart, to the forehead, to the crown of the head. And in that very moment, they become internally divine. 3. Respect the body as a temple of the soul. Brahmacharya practitioners do not regard sex as evil. On the contrary, they know that the body is a subtle instrument and sexual energy is the stuff of divine power. They do not abuse it. They do not let it dissipate in vain. They preserve it as a sacred fire that needs to be kept in silence, not thrown into the play of the ego. Brahmacharya and the great meditators. All those who have opened up to the highest levels of spirituality, from Babaji, Yogananda, Swami Vivekananda, Sri Yukteswar, to Ramakrishna, have lived in the state of Brahmacharya, whether they were married, had families, or lived in the world. They did not live against sex, they lived above it. They did not suppress sex, they raised it into light, into compassion, into inner insight. Results of the one who holds Brahmacharya. Clear, deep eyes like water. A voice that goes straight to the heart of others. Ability to heal just by presence. Meditation is easy, entering samadhi quickly. Intuition is as sharp as a sword, knowing what is right from the root. No longer tormented by desires, but living in deep inner joy. He who holds Brahmacharya is not a person who rejects life, but one who knows how to embrace life from the source. Babaji. Signs that you are transforming desire into spiritual power. Transforming desire does not require announcement. The light will speak for itself by your presence. Mahavatar Babaji. 1. You feel at peace in your body without needing to release it. Before, desire appeared, followed by frustration and urge to act. Now, as the energy rises, you no longer feel the urge as before. Feel it as a glowing heat in your spine. And most importantly, you are no longer afraid of it. This is the first sign that you are no longer controlled by desire, you are directing it to your inner center. 2. Meditation becomes deeper and more natural, with less disturbance. Newcomers to energy often find it difficult to meditate because the mind is stimulated. But when prana is directed in the right direction, meditation becomes deep, fast, stable. You easily fall into a state of no time, no body. The mind does not need to make too much effort to be still. Reason, prana does not leak, root chakra is stable, forehead chakra expands. 3. Intuition is sharp, and divine coincidences begin to occur. You begin to know in advance what will happen. Just think of someone that person appears or contacts. You are less likely to be fooled, less likely to fall into emotional mistakes. At times, you feel like you are guided by an invisible force. This is Ojas penetrating the conscious level, making intuition work strongly. 4. Bright eyes, light body, powerful voice. Your eyes become clear, bright as if there is water inside. Others look at you longer because they find it pleasant for some reason. Your voice becomes louder, deeper, no longer high-pitched or rushed. These expressions cannot be faked, nor do they need to be boasted about, because the energy has spontaneously emanated from within. 5. You feel happy without a reason. Joy no longer comes from sexual stimulation, the pursuit of pleasure. Now, just take a deep breath, you feel grateful. Just sit still, you feel full. You feel love flowing in your chest without being directed at anyone in particular. This is sexual energy that has been raised to the heart chakra, anahata, becoming compassion, unconditional love. 6. There is no longer a desire for action, but for union. The clearest sign of a person who has elevated sexuality to spirituality is no longer craving sex as an act, as a satisfaction, but feeling a oneness with the world, with others. Sex becomes a form of sublimation, not a drain. When sexual energy transcends the ego, it becomes the breathing of God within you. Babaji. Conclusion, the fire within you. The path of Babaji, of the Himalayan yogis, is not for those who just want to know more. It is for souls who have come to remember who they are. You do not need to abandon desire. You just need to lead it home, where it becomes light. You do not need to live an ascetic life. You just need to live consciously, with every breath, every thought, every movement of energy. You do not need to fear the sexual energy within you, for it is God calling you from below, for you to lead him to heaven. He who knows how to guard his vital energy is the one who guards the temple within himself. And he who guards his body as a temple, he is the one who is inhabited by the light of the universe. Babaji. Namaste.